Here we go. What's up, everybody? Thank y'all because y'all have just tuned in to Real Laughs right here on Real Radio 104.1. I am your host. That's right, sitting in the big chair. It's comedian James Yan. We got a damn good show for you guys tonight. I'm in the virtual studio right now. It is me and my good friend, the man who helps make all this happen. That's right. He's the official sponsor of Real Laughs from the law office of Kaufman and Len, your personal injury attorneys in Orlando. They have been representing and winning for the good people of Orlando for over 20 years. He is a comic book creator. He is one of the best damn lawyers you'll ever see, practicing in over 18 states, and he's a comedian as well. I'm talking about Jeff Batman Kaufman in the building with me. Jeff, how you doing, bro?
I'm Batman.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. For people that don't know that, we do that in the movies. We sponsor a movie almost every month, and we shoot these trailers before it. At the end of every trailer, I upset my law partner by saying, I'm Batman.
And
And
like,
then
"You're
we
not
argue
Batman."
it over it. So no matter how it works out. So now people all over are walking up to me out of nowhere. I'm Batman.
We agree.
And then I argue with them. I'm going, no, I'm Batman.
Hey man, I gotta give you a huge shout out, and shout out to all the people who came out this weekend to the Orlando Funny Bone who listened to Real Laughs. We got some compliments. I got the privilege of being able to be on a show. I got to host for Mr. Jeff Kaufman at Funny Fridays at the Funny Bone. He did the front room. And Jeff, talk a little bit about the nerves that go on when you're sitting there going, I'm hoping people show up. I'm hoping people show up.
Yeah.
Talk about that, bro.
Yeah.
You headline. Congratulations, by the way, brother. You killed it too.
Yeah.
But talk about us sitting there for a while, and it's just me, you, and Melissa.
Yeah. See, a lot of people don't realize they don't understand it. You have a host, you got a guest, you
Yeah.
might have a feature, but the
Mhm.
headliner, he's the one who's doing the heavy lifting.
Yes,
He's
he
doing
is.
60-70% of the show, and he's there. And people don't normally come for the feature. They don't come there for the guest.
No,
You
they
know,
come for the headliner. You the
if
man.
people don't show up, it's the headliner's fault.
Yes.
And here's one of the rules with that, which I found out about that bar about 20, 30 minutes before we started. They go, hey, Jeff, if nobody shows up, we cancel.
Yeah.
I said, oh, my God.
You can't have that happen. You can't have a show that
Yeah.
you're on headlining and they have to cancel it. No.
So about 20 minutes before the show starts, I'm sitting there going, well, I guess I'm not doing this. And,
oh my God.
it was a huge deal to headline here for me because, it's just important to be the guy every once in a while.
Absolutely.
And this was really the first time where you guys were my features, and
Yeah.
and you guys are people I idolize. So when you're introducing me, I'm like going, this ain't the food chain I'm normally on.
Let me tell you, Mr. Kaufman, you got a hella of a let's say warm up, if you will, because Ken Miller, the godfather of Orlando comedy, opened for you.
Yeah, both you, dude.
You can tell everybody that, hey, Ken opened for me, right?
No. I was sitting there. I was going, you guys are too funny. Stop being too funny.
Okay, my bad. No.
So slow it down. You're killing me.
It was actually a great show, man. We actually had a good time. And we were talking about the fact that we were sitting there. It was like 15 minutes before showtime. We're like, man, this is light. And then out of nowhere, like a fairy godmother just turned us all from a pumpkin into a carriage. We got about 30 people in that front room, which if you know anything about that front room, that's a lot of people for that show.
Tiny.
I was tiny. So, bro, I was very happy. Not only did we get 30 people, but one of those people was a baby. You made the baby laugh, sir. Hey,
I brought the
job
baby
well
in.
done.
Yeah, I looked over and I was thinking to myself, I said, that first kid's word is going to be a terrible one.
Say dada. Beep.
No. That kid will be dropping F-bombs and they'll be going, we should have taken him to see Kaufman.
No, they saw Ken Miller perform. They're going to drop in N-bombs. Okay.
Okay. All right. But yeah, that was for me, that was special because you guys,
that was awesome.
Normally I go on for you guys. It's not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a weird energy when you're the one carrying the show.
Doesn't it feel different?
Yeah, it's a lot different because you don't feel like, if I do okay, it's fine. The guy behind me is the one they're coming to see.
Mm-hmm. And let's
you
talk
know?
about that for a moment because, like, when you're the host, my job as a host is basically to take that group of people and turn them into an audience. And what I mean by that is you take a group of people and you got to convince them that the show's about to start. Focus all your attention up here, put your phones away, don't talk during the show. You're going to have a great time. Let's get ready to go. I'm the cheerleader of the night. That's my job. The feature then comes and warms that crowd up for the headliner. He'll do 20 minutes or whatever time. He's funny, he's dependable, and he gets the audience in the mode of, ooh, we're laughing, we're having a good time. But all that can go bad. You can get a horrible host. And I've had hosts that were not quite
Oh,
ready
yeah.
to host, and the mood is not good yet. No one knows quite that the show has started. They're like, well, that was awkward. You know what I mean? Then the feature goes up that might not be doing well, and he might be digging you a hole that you got to get yourself out of. And then as a headliner, all that is not supposed to matter because it's your job to bring it on home. It is your job to come up there, step up to the plate, hit a home run, and get all those guys that are on base home, no matter what's
Yeah,
happened
yeah,
before you. So that's your job. So, bro, it definitely feels different. There's pressure on you to make sure that's a good show because people are going to remember the last guy.
yeah.
That's what they came to see.
I've never done this in a show before where I'm sitting out front watching everyone go on and go, all right, 25 minutes from now,
Mm-hmm.
ramp yourself up, ramp yourself
Yes.
up. And this is what, and this is the perfect moment because you want to talk about kismet, karma, whatever you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there watching you get everyone going, and comes out right next to me, Tony Roberts, the headliner for the Improv, is standing right next to me, getting ramped up for his show. And I
Yes.
looked, and I wasn't. He was like on my shoulder. When I say he's
Mm-hmm.
on my shoulder, he's standing right next to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked over, and I'm going, really?
Yep.
And he goes, yeah, yeah, I'm getting myself up for my show. I said, yeah, me too. And it was just such a weird thing that him and I are definitely on different parts of the spectrum when it comes to comedy, as
Mm-hmm.
far as history, as far as ability and everything. And watching, one of the top 10 guys out there, come up and he's doing the same thing I am, trying to pump himself up, trying to get ready to go on his stage. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing the same thing. And, it was so weird. We talked about 5 minutes before that show, and he goes, oh man, he's doing good. He was talking about you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, yeah, James is a beast. James is great.
Mm-hmm.
And I find out, when I finished my show, he had asked you to guest on his 9 o'clock show.
Eh, That is, thank you, my friend. First off, you killed your show. Great job. I'm proud of you. You did 35 minutes. We're going to come back to that in a second. But yeah, that's the great thing about comedy and whatever level a comedian may be, big name, whatever, we respect each other. We really do. And I know people don't understand that, but comedians, we respect one another no matter what level you are. Tony didn't just see you as a guy that's not been doing this very long. No, he saw you as a comedian. That's it.
Yep.
He sees us as, hey, these are my people. These are my coworkers. So they'll see you do well and want to reward you and be like, hey, man, would you like to come in the big room and do a guest set? And that's the beautiful thing about this community that we call stand-up comedians, man. So thank you. Shout out to Tony Roberts for doing that. And you got to go see him the next night, and he was nothing but gracious to you, right?
Well, this is what happened. I didn't get to see him. The 9 o'clock show was just packed.
Yeah, it
I mean,
was.
he
It
he
was,
packed that room,
yeah.
and I had just finished my set, and I think it was like 10, 20 minutes left before we could go, and I was like, you know what? I need to eat. I
Hmm.
need to go, let me get some food because I hadn't eaten yet. I don't really
Hmm.
eat well before shows.
Yeah, you definitely have a rule where, hey, I'm going to eat after. I'll relax. I'll have a good
Yeah.
meal. I don't want to eat before I go on stage. And I get that. A lot of comedians have that same rule.
But here's what's weird. You would think that second stage, the first stage in front of the bar,
Hmm.
is easier than the improv,
Oh,
than
no.
the
Oh,
inside
no.
stage.
Oh, no, y'all.
And I can tell you this, when you have 30 people in front of you, it's a lot harder than when you have 200.
People, and that sounds weird to people who don't do
Yeah.
comedy, right? They're like, well, it's a smaller number. Isn't that easier? No, it is
No,
not.
you can't
Because
feel them. You
nope,
can't feel it.
no.
One guy laughs. Like, here's the thing. Two of your jokes, and I know your set. I know
Hmm.
Ken's set.
Hmm.
There was a lull that
Yes.
normally there's no lull. Normally
Yes.
that joke kills, and I was like
Yes.
going, and I felt it go out, and it happened with Ken. It went out and nothing came back, and I
Yep.
was
And we
going,
kept going.
and
But
you got to keep going through it
yep.
because, you know, normally at least a quarter of the audience is going to find the joke funny, even if it's not your top joke.
Absolutely.
But that was, and I was sitting there, I'm going, "Ooh, I'm gonna have a long night." I said, if two of those jokes two of your guys' jokes did go down, and those are rock star jokes, I'm gonna take a beating here a little bit.
Mm-mm.
But here's something, and I want every comedian to know, because people don't get this.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't think that crowd work is normal. When I say crowd work, I'm talking that Matt Rife stuff where you'll watch 5 minutes of him screwing with the audience, or 10 minutes of
No,
him
that is
screwing with
not
the
normal.
audience. That
Hecklers
doesn't
are not
happen.
normal. Yes. Thank you.
And it can
Hecklers are not normal.
happen with the guy who's in charge, meaning the headliner. The
Mm-hmm.
headliner was 50 minutes. He can do 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But your host, your headliner, who's only got, not headliner, but your feature, they get 10, 15, 20 minutes. There's not 25% of your show built in where you can talk to the audience. And as a headliner, I don't want you to do that. I want you to be doing your set. I want you to be working the audience, everything else like that. I don't want you to be screwing around for 10 minutes, because then that takes it away from me. Then I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And there were
You're talking about the guys that, it's unwritten rule that that's reserved for the headliner, not the feature, or to a certain extent, not the host. Like, a host will ask generic questions that are panel, that are not really what you call crowd work, like who's celebrating something, marriage, who's celebrating a birthday. It's my job just to get you guys ready and feeling good and engaged. But crowd work, when I was coming up, and I'm old, I've been doing this for 20 plus years, was reserved for the headliner. That was supposed to be his thing he can do. But there's certain rules that are meant to be broken. Like, if there's 30 people,
yeah, exactly.
You don't got a lot to work with, and you're trying to keep the energy up and keep everybody engaged. One cheat code is to do a little crowd work and make it seem like it's magic, like it's coming off the top of your head, and everybody's like, "Ooh, this is amazing!" Yeah. So, but you're absolutely right, Jeff. It's supposed to be for the headliner.
Now, for me, in my sets, there might be 1 or 2 or 3 things that I need to get from the audience. I go to them first. I go, "How long you been in a relationship?" Because I want them to say 5, 10, 20, 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of one of my bits where I'm like going, "Well, and you probably got a story that's offensive as hell to her, but it'd be really funny if you told people, but she'd whoop your ass if you ever did."
Absolutely.
I said the same thing applies to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I said, for example, and I need that because it's part of what I'm right about to do. But if I'm just stopping and going, "Hey, how you guys doing? You good couple? Well, what do you do for a living?"
No, that's too much. Yeah, it's too much. There's a rhythm you got to keep.
It's not part of my set. It's something that I'm just deciding, hey, I don't want to do any stuff today. But there were some young people in the audience. They let like a 16 and a 17-year-old in.
It was, yes, there was a married couple who decided to bring their kids, and that's not the first time that's happened. Like, we've actually seen that a few times where they're like 16, 17, maybe 18, and it's the parents' discretion whether or not they bring them into a comedy club. Personally, I love it. Because when I was growing up, Jeff, do you think I was watching PG comedy specials? No. I was watching Pryor, Eddie Murphy. Do you think they were using kid-friendly lingo? No.
But they did advert. Somehow there's some advertisement out there that our show was going to be kid friendly, family friendly. They called it. I'm like going, I don't know what family you've got, but my set is definitely not for the family.
Dysfunctional, family friendly. Come on in. That's it. But no, it ended up being a really great night, Jeff. I told you this before, but I'm gonna tell you again. I was very proud of you, sir. You did 35, which you're working on your headlining set for this weekend, my friend. We're going to talk about that when we get back. But Jeff, man, you've been working very hard at your comedy, and I want you to know it's paying off for you, man. Don't stop.
Oh, I didn't know you were leading into the ending. I'm sorry.
I just want to let you know.
Like you were leading towards you were running towards the end.
I am.
We do this so much, it felt like, and
that was a good one. That was a good one.
I thought you were going.
He's absolutely right. Like, don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back, right here on Real Laughs, Real Radio 104.1. What's up, everybody? Thank you for still sticking with us right here on Real Laughs on Real Radio 104.1. I'm your host tonight in the big chair, Mr. James John. I'm joined with my partner in crime over here, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jeff Batman Kaufman in the house. Now, he's just coming off of his Funny Bone headlining gig, if you will, in the front room at Funny Fridays. He did a great job, man. He did so well that the headliner came out and checked out the show. That's right, Mr. Tony Roberts himself came out. Now, Jeff, you got to talk to him for a minute, and I love the fact that, as comedians, we just see each other as comedians. There's no, for the most part, I'll say that. For the most part, we just get along. No matter what stage of the game you may be in, a headlining comic who's been doing it for 30, 40 years will just look at you like, hey, you're one of my people that I work with. You're a coworker. So you actually got to talk to Tony Roberts that next night that you came back and actually got to see his show, man. And you were telling me how gracious and down to earth he was.
Yeah, for Tony, what I like to do is I like to go out and get some info from him. First off, I like to tell him what I thought
Mm-hmm.
and everything else. And I mean, Tony is a beast.
Beast.
He does 50 minutes, and every 6 seconds he punches you in the face.
You're tired when you get done.
Yeah.
Your stomach hurts from laughing.
If you look over to the left, you miss the joke.
Yep.
And that's how fast it is.
Yes.
And I really wanted to talk to him afterwards about that, because a lot of times, you know, as an old young comic,
I feel you.
I asked him, I said, it's funny because I asked Marlon Wayne the same question. And I said, when I asked Marlon, I said, how do you know a 50-minute set is done? How do you know the headlining set is done? And Marlon said, when every bit could be my end, meaning every 5 minutes I can end on that. And I was going, well, that was a great advice. Tony said to me, he goes, I said, how do you know when you got the perfect 50 minutes? He goes, when I have an hour and a half.
Wow.
He goes, when I have an extra 40
Wow. And let's talk about that. An extra 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Ladies, that's like us having an extra 2 inches. Like that is nearly impossible to have.
In 20 minutes.
Yeah. Because writing, as you know, Jeff, is a hard process. And we've been
people don't want to do it.
that. We've been exercising that. Every month we do the All for the Money show, and we write a brand new 10 minutes that you can take a good 2 or 3 minutes out of if you're really taking that assignment seriously. But to be able to write in a year a brand new hour and a half, people, that's work, that's commitment, that is skill.
It's a lot. And we've been doing it. I figured out the perfect way to do it. And for the younger comics out there, and for the older comics who can't, you know, just don't care anymore, you know, you gotta build a system for you to force you to do it. Now, for us, we do it once a month. Well, we have 10 new minutes. Now, figure this out. Okay, let's say we have to skip one show. That's 11 shows a year times 10 minutes. That's an hour and 10 minutes. No, that's an hour and 50 minutes of new material you wrote. Yeah. So at least you have 50 minutes in there somewhere. If you take everything you wrote and pare it down to only the best stuff, you'll have 50 minutes.
Yeah. If you do it right. You're right.
And I'm finding right now, I mean, I came up with like 2 months ago that shouldn't be in my set because it's new, but it was so good that I was going, oh no, this is part of my set now.
Absolutely.
There's no way. I love this. And it's easily some of my best stuff now in comparison to some of my older stuff.
And I'm glad you made me do it, man, because I was one of those guys where I would write by conversation. I would be in a group of comics. I would say something funny. They're like, man, you should do that on stage. And that was my writing process. This made me come out of my comfort zone. And comedians, if you're listening, or if you do anything in your career, step out of your comfort zone and try something new. You never know what you might pick up that can help you monetarily, like to get ahead. And you making me do this, Jeff, I started writing more. Like, there's chunks now that I have to keep out of my set because I'm already doing an hour and it's going to go over time. Like, I really have loved what's going on. I've written some new stuff. I've gotten some new, content for social media. So it's been a win-win. So I would advise.
You and I were talking about, we were driving back from a gig in St. Augustine. And, you know, I know people don't do this. I know they don't do it because they're afraid to talk to each other. But you and I were talking about this. And I said, here, your set, the hour and 10 that you did, I said, 50 minutes of it is flying. And then you hit a lull of 5 here and 5 here. And I said, I would put this 5 that you used the other night and pop this in there. The new stuff, you know, the wrestling stuff we talked about.
Yes, absolutely.
I said, that's ridiculous. That's new. That's stuff that's on the level of everything you're doing. And
you're right about that. You're right.
I think we all have to be willing to talk to each other about that. I mean, Ken and I talked about it. It was hard. It's a hard discussion to have with somebody who is your superior at this. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell Ken, hey, let me tell you, young blood, you know. And I said, listen, I swear to God, if you break out that futon stuff, and
I'm gonna throw something.
I'm gonna throw a futon at you.
And Ken has been one of the guys that's truly benefited because he looks more excited again. He looks like he fell back in love with comedy. Not to say that he wasn't, but he's excited when he does his new stuff now, man. And he's so well, he's doing so well at writing new stuff. So shout out to Ken, man, in this show. All for the Money, which you guys have got to check out. It's basically like we're talking about. We do 10 new minutes of material so our fans can keep coming out. It's never the same show. And we give away over $2,000 in cash and prizes. Interactive comedy show, the only one of its kind in Orlando, and you can walk away with money. Come on, bro. It don't get any better than that.
We had some guys who come to our movies who showed up,
Yes.
and they
Yes.
were
Yes.
like, "Hey, Jeff, and I looked at, I didn't know." They said, I guess we got the email, and
Yeah.
they just happened to show up, and they loved that. I mean, they were blown away by
Absolutely.
how much fun it was. They weren't expecting it. They said, "Oh," and here's the thing about live comedy: I dare you to walk out of a decent comedy show and not be happy that you went.
Yeah, absolutely. You're always going to be in a better mood,
Yeah.
man. Comedy it's medicine. It makes you feel better, man.
Now,
So
now here's the thing. Here's the
Uh-huh.
tough thing for comedians.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Tony Roberts because I had always been told how good he was.
Great.
So I sat down, and I didn't sit down as a comedian judging his set. I said, let me just be part of the audience.
There you go.
And man, he beat me. He beat me hard. I walked, I was like, oh, I was laid out there. And it was just some of the best comedy I've ever sat in front of. One of the masters of his trade.
Yes.
And if he comes back, he'll probably come back in a year.
Absolutely.
And you see that name, go. And it's so good that he packs that room.
Yes, he does.
He packs a room where more famous guys can't pack that room.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
That's a great point, Jeff. There's big names in comedy where people will tell you this guy is brilliant. And comedy's subjective. And then there's those guys who've been on the road for 30 years, who know the ins and outs of every audience that they see. They know how to play off any given situation that may arise or pop up, who are just truly gifted at what they do. They're masters of their trade, and their trade is comedy. That's Tony Roberts. He is a legend in the urban community, and he should be one in the mainstream as well, because he's that damn funny. That dude destroys.
If I now have to say, if I do my top 5 living comedians now, you know, I might have to move him into that.
Bro, he's that.
I might have to move him into
talk
that
to
because,
the people. Talk to him.
I've seen, I've seen all the best.
You've seen everybody. Yes, you have.
And man, he didn't let you go.
No, he didn't.
He did one bit where he was talking about how he doesn't perform as well as he used to.
Oh
and how his
Yeah.
wife came back thinking she was getting part 2, and he was pretending like he was choking her out, and then had to choke himself out so that if the cops came, and he enacted the whole thing, and man, it hurt me.
Yes,
it hurt me so bad because I'm like going, how do you even think about putting that bit together and performing it? And I'm not talking just talking. He is animated. He is on top of it. Everything is fair game on the stage.
Absolutely.
I mean, he did things with the mic. I was going, ooh, I like that.
Yeah. That's 30, like that's so many years of experience, man, that you see on that stage, and everyone thanks him on the way out. And he talks to everybody on the way out. He had a great opener as well, who stayed and talked to everybody. But that man is pure energy, pure fun. I had the honor of actually interviewing him on my talk show that shall not be named. But bro, love that guy. So glad you got.
See, I feel bad because I can't even call it the Tight Mike Show anymore.
You say you're gonna get me in trouble.
Yeah, Tight Mike is homeless too. So I was like,
wow.
going, man.
You're not right, Jeff. You're not right, sir.
Is somebody? We can't say it because we know the background. Is somebody still working there too, or is he gone too?
I don't know. I don't know. I wash my hands of that place.
This is a weird thing where everybody you've worked with for years, and and then he's gone.
Yep.
And then he's gone.
Yep.
And then you go, well, who's left? And you're going, the building.
That building is basically the Bermuda Triangle of entertainment. Like people just go missing. Like they're not there no more, man. Just say
it's because people who love this stuff. They're great performers. I mean, for example, I'm helping Carlos. He's got a show called To the Top now. and
Shout
it's
out
a
to Carlos Navarro. He on Fox 35
yep,
now.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
YouTube show,
Hmm.
and he invited me to help out with that show, and it was so weird because Miguel and I are on stage and we're performing. It's not like just our voices;
Hmm.
we're acting, and
You
that was
are.
a. And I have to sit there, and I want you to know, I hate these two guys. I hate both of them
Tell us
because
why.
40 minutes I'm supposed to be sitting there as the attorney with a serious face on, and they're improving every line that comes out of their mouth.
Oh my
And
God.
and I have a camera maybe about 6 feet off to the left of me. And
Hmm.
I'm biting my tongue. I'm moving it from left to right. I'm doing everything possible to
Hmm.
maintain my seriousness.
That's
And
hilarious.
they hurt me, both
Bro.
those two. And I
Carlos
don't
and
forgive them. I'm
Miguel.
suing one of them. I don't
You
know.
should.
I got well. Carlos ain't got any money now. Miguel, I'm going after Busey money. I know
And the thing
Busey's got him
is,
on the trust.
if you guys know Miguel, how good he is coming off the cuff with some funny, hilarious stuff,
Yeah.
but get him together with Carlos, bro. You can't. Bro. You must have hurt yourself
Yeah.
trying not to laugh.
The camera woman to my left goes, I saw you. I was betting on it. He's breaking. He's going. He's going. Because she can see the side of my face quivering.
Twitching.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Man.
Look at
I can't taste sweet anymore. I bit on my tongue so much.
that. That's funny.
But
Oh my gosh, that's actually very funny. Now,
but
you
that
guys may be wondering, I forgot to actually bring this up, but Ken and Miguel aren't here. Ken's actually working with Mr. Tony Roberts right now. You know, we record early on Sunday, so he's still doing a show with him. Shout out to Ken. And Miguel is somewhere doing something for someone. That's all I'm allowed to say. It
well,
might.
I know he's working that second shift at McDonald's filling in for Grimace.
Oh
But
wow! You gonna shoot it? You gonna shoot at him? He can't defend himself. You gonna shoot
yeah,
at him?
it's
That's what you
Sunday.
doing?
I'm working. I see that what people don't realize is we have to do these shows late at night. And
Yes, we
most
do.
of the time we've already had a day.
We have.
And we had a
It's been
day.
a
And
day.
people always ask me, Jeff, how do you do everything you do? Well, while you're doing the stuff you want to do,
I'm doing this.
I'm doing this. And everyone's like so amazed. I'm like going, man, I'm going to tell you this: between first and fifth grade, somebody taught you minus and subtract and addition,
Yes, they did.
subtraction and addition, and you get 24 hours in the day.
That's right.
Here's your addition and here's your subtraction, and
There
that's
you
how I
go.
do it.
It's
You
so
know.
funny. It's so funny.
But yeah, I mean that was the whole idea last night. I go, okay, last night I'm off. I'm gonna
Hmm.
take it easy, and then I go, or I have an opportunity to learn and enjoy.
There you go. And
So
you
I
can learn. Thank you for
yeah.
bringing that up. If you're a comedian and you're like, man, I want to know how to get to that level like these guys that I admire, go see a Tony Roberts perform. Don't do his jokes, of course, because we don't joke
No,
still, but see what's working. Look at his mannerism, look at his stage presence. Check out how he's using his voice, his inflections, his intonation. How is he pausing? Does his voice get higher in volume? Does it get lower at certain points? See what someone's technically doing as a comedian is working and see if you can't pick up something or learn a new technique or way of saying it or a new perspective. You can learn that way. You can actually get that education for free and a lot of times as comedians going to these clubs. So I'm with you, Jeff. Y'all can go get a free education if you want to.
I mean,
Really can.
for me it was fun. I get it. I sat there and I was looking at him doing something, and here's what happened. I don't know if we have time.
Go ahead.
We screwed up. I'm all Sam. That's the woman who handled. That's my producer.
Hmm.
I'm gonna shoot you. She gives me this mic and she says to plug it into the camera because I wanted to record all 35 so I
Yeah.
could see what I did or didn't do.
Yeah.
No sound.
Oh, and we record. You had your camera and everything there, so you thought you had everything recorded, so you can
I
go
thought I was
back.
going to get a perfect view of my nonsense and go in here.
Ah,
But here's what I did notice
what you
without
notice?
sound. I'm more animated than I used to be.
Yes, you are. And that
Yeah.
goes back to what we were talking about when we say stage presence. That means you're not just standing there staring at the crowd looking timid. No, you're actually comfortable. You're using your hands in a demonstrative way. You're pacing. You're looking at people. You're pausing at certain points to give emphasis on why something's funny. Your eyes change. Your facial expressions. You'll act out things like opening up a little bottle like this. Like everything has to do with selling that punchline when you're doing comedy. Your body, everything, your voice. So yes, sir, you've gotten very big, big. You've gotten very good at that. But don't go anywhere, people. We got to take a short break. That's right. We got to pay some bills. We'll be right back right here on Real Laughs on Real Radio 104.1. Welcome back, everybody. You are still tuned in to Real Laughs right here on Real Radio 104.1. I'm your host tonight, Mr. James Young, comedian extraordinaire. I'm joined with my comedian brother over here, Mr. Jeff Batman Kaufman, also representing Kaufman and Lynn, our official sponsors of Real Laughs. Now, speaking of sponsors, we have a brand new one. We have my brother out there, Mr. Joe Neal. That's right. You know him and love him. He used to be on my talk show. He was on Funny Not Famous. He was also on BET Comic View on there 3 times. Legendary, man. He has something great going on that I want to tell you guys about right now. If I can just get my ad up here and get my ad in order. Haha. That's funny to say. All right. Something brand new going on for everybody out there that I can't find right now, Jeff, which is going to make me look silly. Oh, here we go. Guys, Friday, July 5th. That's right. At Tropical Paradise, it's live stand-up comedy. The show's going to be at 8 o'clock. But the funny thing or the great thing about this night is if you pay $20, there's a 2-hour open bar from 7 to 9 p.m. Did y'all hear what I just said? $20 get you an open bar for 2 hours from 7 to 9. This all goes down on Friday, July 5th. You guys got to come check that out. Now, you can go to Eventbrite to get those tickets for Tropical Paradise Comedy Night, or you can go to thecomedytakeover.com for more details. That's going to be brought to you by my man Joe Neal Burner out there. Now, every Friday from 10 to 12, it's going to be that open bar at Tropical Paradise. It's that old school hip hop and R&B jams all night. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All my people that are child of the 90s, you're going to definitely want to come check this out. Old school hip hop and R&B. Get your tickets at Eventbrite for that as well, or you can go to the comedytakeover.com for that. That's every Friday from 10 to 12. Open bar. $20. That's right, man. There's 2 great times to have on a Friday night. You guys have no excuse. I want to see you guys there. All right. Do.
Better
All right.
Uber there. Better be Ubering.
Yeah, Uber. Yeah, that's a great point. Uber, or you're going to have to call Kaufman and Lynn.
Wait, we don't do that. I'll be calling you because the guy you hit is I'm representing him.
Hey, but that's going to be a great night, man. Shout out to Joe Neal for putting together something great for people. $20. I mean, open bar. Woo.
Yeah.
That is a good time, my friend. Hey, first off, I want to definitely talk about this, Jeff, before we get to the end of the show. I need to talk about the fact that, sir, that's right. You are going to be headlining your very own show this weekend, sir, at Twisted Birch. That's why you've been putting all those comedy reps in. You've been working so hard, man. And you will be headlining on June 29th. That's right, at 8 p.m. You guys need to definitely go check that out.
In Rockledge, Florida.
Rockledge, Florida.
Rockledge, Florida.
Rockledge,
Birch.
Right next to Cocoa, actually. You guys definitely go check that out, man. It's going to be a great time. And I'm so proud of you, my friend. It's going to be good.
Yeah, we had a tough conversation about this.
Uh-huh.
We had a hard conversation.
We did have a conversation because I remember.
Just so you know, everything ain't rainbows and butterflies.
No.
You know what happened was I was on a cruise boat for I forgot what it was. It wasn't my birthday. I think it was right after my birthday.
It was a makeup for your birthday because you got sick on your birthday. I got sick on my birthday. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I'm on the boat and I get this text. It's basically a personal message and it says, "Hey Jeff, are you available to do 50 minutes on blank date and blank date?"
Yep.
And when somebody asks you to do 50, that's a headlining gig.
That's right.
They don't get, "Hey, listen, I'm asking you to feature." When they want you to do 50, that means that's your show.
Mm-hmm.
And I had featured a lot, but I hadn't headlined my own show because I didn't want to. I didn't want to go ask somebody for it. I wanted it to naturally occur.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the first person I called up.
That's true. You did call me up first, and we had a conversation. Go ahead,
yes.
And you asked me a question.
And James gave me a coming to James meeting. I would say Jesus, but I ain't pissing off anybody.
Right. Black Jesus.
Yes. And when I told James, James gave me news like I give people bad news when I'm their lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did I start off with the yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was a long pause, and I thought I lost him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Hello, hello." No, I'm still here.
Yeah.
And James was in his head, and I know how he was going. How do I let him know that this is not a good thing? How do I tell him?
How do I convey this?
This is probably not a good idea.
Yes. And I wanted to convey to you this, and I want people to know why, because I don't want people to think that I was downplaying your
I
talent
listen. I ain't
or
putting you
anything.
down.
I know you didn't. I
You
know.
were being my friend.
I wanted, yes, I wanted to be your friend. Now, what I want to tell people out there, yes, you're gonna get calls to headline, which is amazing. Every comic
You ain't going to get a lot of them.
yeah,
Okay.
but when you're
All
a
right.
comic, that's what the ultimate goal is. I want a
Yeah.
headline. I want someone to say, I recognize what you've been doing. You've been doing a great job. You funny. Will you please come headline my venue? So he got that call, and of course, he should have felt great about it, which he did. Now, Jeff's been not doing it for a very long time, but he's been working his butt off. Want to make sure I say that.
Yeah.
So he asked me, should I take the headlining gig? What I wanted to convey to him is something I learned by making a mistake early on in my career. I took a gig that I thought I was ready for. And it's a famous gig that I took because I ended up doing the gig unprepared and I got booed by 3,000 people. Now, people wasn't a normal boo. No, it was a black event. Oh, yeah, it was urban. So I got booed by my people, and my people got disrespectful boos.
Ooh.
It comes with anger. And yeah, it was whoo, bruh. So I didn't want him to be ill prepared. And here's what Jeff did. And I give him so much credit for this. He said, James, I'm going to hit as many stages as I possibly can. I've been working on my material. You know, I've been doing All for the Money. I've been doing a brand new 10 minutes for months now. And I got the time. I'm going to work it out. I'm going to work on it. And you know what, people? He did. He went to as many shows he can possibly get on. He did his time. He worked out his set. He knew exactly what he needed to do, where everything would go, and how much time needed to be allotted for every piece. And this man has worked out a headlining set, and I'm proud of you for doing that, because that's not an easy thing. And I'm proud because you didn't just say, "No, I got it." No, you worked at it. He's like, "Man,
No,
I'm gonna be sure I go there prepared," because when James got booed, I was ill prepared. So
I was sick. I was really sick over it
yeah.
because here's the thing: we
Hmm.
deal with a lot of people who, oh, I've been doing open mic. I've been doing 5 mic open mics for like 6 months,
Yep.
and they've never featured. They've never done
Nope.
15, 20, and they
Mm-mm.
go, when can I headline? And you have to fail a lot. You got to be used to good and
Whew.
bad. I mean, like a
Yes.
good example is this show we did. What we didn't mention is Wednesday night, Miguel and Ken were going out to where's that? What beach is it? It's
Craves. Flagler Beach.
Craves and
Craves. Yeah.
Flagler Beach, and that's about an hour and a half away, easy.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
during rush hour and everything. And I asked him, I said, and I wanted to. I'm working on this other 5 minutes. I'm trying to knock out,
Hmm.
and it hasn't been clean. And I want it in front of an audience. I want to know how it feels. And I said, listen, guys, can I do a guest spot for 5 minutes? They go, you going to drive all the way out here to do, you know, how much?
Yeah. But that's
Five
what we
minutes?
do. Yes, that's what
I
we
said, yeah,
do.
I need it.
Yeah.
I need to be in front of a live audience and test this material out.
Hmm.
And they had like 200-300 people and it was an older group. And I was doing kind of a tough bit I call Drunk Girlfriend.
Hmm.
And it's a hard bit because you're doing with voices and a bunch of stuff.
Going back and forth. Yeah,
And I'm
absolutely.
glad I did it because I was going, okay, not as good as I wanted it to be. And then I performed it again last night. And you got to work a set 5, 6, 10, 20 times before it's clean. And some
Yeah.
people don't get that. And I can tell you this. I told you I'm gonna tell you tomorrow when I said I'm gonna make a decision on it.
Hmm. I
And
remember that.
I did walk around, I did this, but I did then call the Godfather.
Yeah.
And Ken Miller, if you want to talk, you know how you got the angel and the devil on your shoulders?
Yep.
Figure out which one Ken is, okay?
That is true. The Godfather of Orlando Comedy, talking about the one and only Mr. Ken Miller. You called him and asked him what he thought, and what did he say to you?
Okay, I go, you take that.
Yep. Yes, he did.
That
Yes, he
don't come
did.
around often. You
No, I
take it.
don't. Here's what he said.
And I'm not going to use the colorful metaphors he used,
No. Oh no. No, we
but
need this show. We
yeah,
can't
no,
get
no,
canceled. Can't
no.
get canceled, brother. Yeah.
I was actually talking to Jack from Real. Jack is the head of the station.
Yeah. Mr. Bradshaw.
Mr. Bradshaw, and
Hmm.
I said, you know how many times we say we're going to get canceled? This is our last show. He goes,
Hmm.
oh, I know. So, so he is aware about how far we push it some
Yes,
nights, and this
yes,
is
he did.
light. This is the
Yeah.
light night.
That,
Miguel's
that's
gone.
that's
You
the
know,
same gentleman had to explain to us when we were in the studio, James, you can't have a chef come fry chicken fresh here. And I'm like, really? This is America. I thought we were in. I can't fry chicken in a studio.
No, this is iHeart. This ain't America.
Really, Jack?
Man, I made the mistake. We got time for this, right?
Yeah, we got time.
Okay.
Good.
I went out with a lot of the people from Monsters of the Morning from
Yeah.
104.1
Uh-huh.
at an event they did Thursday night. They did down in New Smyrna at Linda Bird's wine bar called Crimson House.
I didn't know she had a wine bar.
Yeah, it's big. She's got a
Okay.
house. It's an
Okay.
Airbnb. I mean, it's
Gotcha.
got a lot. And we're out there and everyone's drinking and and I'm hungry because I normally don't get to eat when I'm at these places.
And you have a special spot you like to go to.
I do, but it wasn't open. It was closed before I got there.
Mhm.
And I was like, all right, let's do this. And it's Savannah, Ryan Holmes, and his wife, the girl who does the tequila now. I forgot what her name is.
The tequila?
Yeah, the tequila girl.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
out there.
yeah. I forgot her name. Oh my gosh, she's gonna kill me.
And we went to this place called The Spot. It's SPOTT.
Mhm.
And the alcohol's good, the food is good. So I pick up the check at the end. I don't even ask. The check comes to me. I'm signing for it. And this woman goes, "Who are you to pay this bill?" And I was like,
What?
"Well, I said they just stuck it in front of me."
Yeah.
Well, the next morning she's on the radio talking, on the Monsters, talking about how this guy she didn't even know thinks he can buy the food for all them and everything else like that. And somebody goes, "Who was the guy?" They go, "Some guy named Jeff." And everyone on the station lost it. He goes, "You don't know? You're sitting next to the he's on the
Yeah.
show.
Let me tell you
on the show."
Let me tell you right now, any men out there who think they're heroes and want to buy women food, you don't have to buy a woman food. Buy me food, okay? I will take the food and not complain about you paying my check. I'm not proud. It's like that movie. Don't be proud. I'm not proud.
Oh.
I will take you buying me a meal. I'm a good date. I'm a good listener. Okay.
It was fantastic. I mean, it was a
Yeah.
great show. It was this, I had fun. Savannah and I made some jokes. I
Yeah.
mean, Linda Bird, who used to run iHeart, all of iHeart,
Which
was
is
out
funny.
there.
I didn't know she had a wine bar.
Yeah.
But good, God bless you.
Yeah, but I did wind up. I'm going to give a shout out. It's Cafe Paradiso.
Mhm.
It's on Flagler Avenue in New Smyrna Beach. Pound
Mm.
and a half lobster roll.
Bro, that sounds illegal in 3 states.
Oh, I'm
It's
just telling
good.
you this. I have never walked out of there and not said to myself, "Last meal I'm okay with."
There you go. There you
That's
go,
when you
bro.
know when you're going, "This is the last meal I'm ever going to eat. I'm okay with it."
And that's all you need. That's dope,
So,
bro.
so
Now,
yeah.
before we go, man, I want to remind everybody, sir, where you're going to be this weekend. You're going to be at Twisted Birch. You're going to be there June 29th. The show starts at 8. Doors will open at 6:30. You guys, you're going to be featuring with, not featuring, he's going to be headlining Mr. Jeff Kaufman. Featuring is going to be the Angry Texan. I know him. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be hosted by Eugene Singleton. That's right, going down in Rockland, Florida this Saturday. Twisted Birch. Y'all need to go down there and get your tickets right now. Jeff, you putting that on your social media, by the way, so people can go there and get
Yeah, I'm lighting that up. Also, we don't forget we're doing Monsters of Comedy.
Oh my, I forgot that. Monsters of Comedy.
Night. But that's sold out. You can't get in there.
You can't get tickets. So let's not tease them. Let's not do that.
No.
Let's not do that.
That show's been sold out for a little bit. There's not a part 2. We're gonna do it again later. Nope.
No, that's it right there.
One and done.
I also want to remind you guys, don't forget, man, we got a great show happening at Tropical Paradise every single Friday. There's comedy starting for you guys, man. It's going to be a great time. It's hosted by my man, Joe Neal Bruner. That's right. July 5th, Tropical Paradise brings stand-up comedy back, but that's not the biggest part of the night. If you guys pay $20, there's going to be a 2-hour open bar from 7 to 9. That's right. $20, 2-hour open bar. You guys need to go to Eventbrite, get your tickets right now, or you can go to thecomedytakeover.com to get those details. And later on that night from 10 to 12, that's right, midnight, also, if you pay $20, there's going to be an open bar there. It's for old school hip hop and R&B jams all night. The 90s kid in me is just went woo-hoo. So you guys can go get the tickets for that from thecomedytakeover.com as well. Don't forget, they got 2 great things going on in one great night. Don't forget. All right, Jeff. It's been a great night with your brother. Thank you so much for being here with me, man. We had a good talk. You are headlining now, man. You have hit one of your bucket list things as a comedian. You're going to be doing it this Saturday. You feel good? You ready to do this thing?
I feel good, man. I'm really loving it, and I love the family. I love you, Miguel, Ken. You know, that is the best part about doing this,
I like
is to
it.
be able to spend 3 to 5, 10 minutes laughing and joking before the show, after the show.
Yep.
I mean, those are moments that you can't create.
Nope.
It just has to happen.
Beautiful, man. Thank you so much for everything that you do for me, brother. I will never forget you, like I've said. Thank you guys for listening tonight. That's right. We are Nightcap of Comedy Real Last. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow. And Jeff, you tell them what they need to do.
Man, I can't believe I got to do this. Take your ass to bed.
We out.